Welcome back to the 30-day Jiu-Jitsu Mobility Challenge. Let's get straight into the action. Today, we've got a bit of a special one. We're going through a hip capsule mobilization. So, as we do with all of our hip openers and guard retention mobility drills, we're going to start in this deep squat position. Throughout this 30 days, my goal is to improve your knees to chest, your hip mobility, your upper body mobility as well, but because today's focusing on that guard retention and hip mob, I'm going to be talking predominantly about the lower body. If you haven't been able to progress to a heels to mat deep squat yet, that's okay. Just keep improving, keep working it. You see with my squat test position, my goal here is to feel where I'm at today and move and groove in this position. You can work in some reaches like we've done in the past. You know how to do these. You reach in front of you. You can push into your hips here and just move and groove in this deep squat position. Now we're going to be using this as a test, retest, meaning we squat, we do a deep squat test and see how we're feeling at the start of the practice, and then again at the end to compare and contrast if we've actually made any real improvements, any real change, stimulated anything at all, which you should, I'll leave that up to you to feel it, but you should definitely feel improvements in your deep squat and your ability to get your knees tucked into your chest. Okay, a couple more moments here. Just as a reminder, keep breathing throughout. While I'm talking, my breath work isn't the greatest, but you should be able to be breathing in through your nose and out through your nose or your mouth throughout the entire duration of the mobility practice here, whilst listening to the instructions. Okay, your shins should be firing up now, just waking everything up in the morning. If you need to come out of this position for a little bit of a rest, just come out with me. Shake your legs in this knees bent forward fold style position, just to get some blood flow back. Now, let's come down onto all fours or come out of your squat if you haven't already. And what we're going to do is start with our right leg. You're going to place your right leg toward the center line of your body and make sure that you're at about approximately a 90-degree angle. Now, what I'm doing is I'm driving my weight in through my femur up into my hip capsule. So I want this force vector throughout the entire mobility movement, that is the hip capsule mobilization, to be driving in a straight line through my knee into my hip. Now we're gonna just sit and chill in this position for a second. Now with your left leg here, just kick it back into a straightened sort of position, keeping your knee on the floor and your toes curled up on your foot. And make sure that you maintain this weight, this force, straight into your hip. You should be able to feel it now. You should be able to feel a little bit of impingement coming on into your hip. If not, that's okay. We're going to induce that in just a moment. Okay, so now that we've got a feel for this position, maybe add a little bit of movement to the side just to feel it out. All right. So now what we're going to do is, keeping the force directly through your knee into your hip, you're going to kick over to the side. So because I'm starting with my right leg, I'm going to kick over to my right side, and my left knee should be drifting toward my midline or toward my left hip here until you feel, you guessed it, the impingement. All right, so that's pretty much as far as I can go there. Once you feel that, your impingement, I want you to noodle in and out of that position, just touching your end range and then coming out. So you should be grooving in on this position with me. And in a moment, we're going to take it to the next level. It's a reminder to maintain your breath volume in through your nose and out through your nose or your mouth, breathing deep into your diaphragm. You can really breathe into your hip here. Okay, so now I want you to push over to your impingement until you feel like you've bound up, you can't go any further. And then we're gonna start to drive your hip backward and your knee is gonna drift forward until you find that impingement on the bottom right-hand corner of your hip capsule. Same sort of deal. We're going to noodle in and out of that position. You should definitely feel bound up, but you shouldn't be feeling any pain. If you're feeling any nerve pain or any sharp pain, then you're probably pushing it a little bit too far. But it definitely should feel a bit weird. Now with your left leg here, all I'm doing is keeping it pushed up against my foot to make sure that my right foot isn't going anywhere. Okay, so now we're going to come out of that, back to the midline, give yourself a little rest. It's a bit hectic, this one. And next we're going to go for some kickouts. So making sure that your force is still being driven in a straight line from your knee to your hip here. We're going to push your leg out, using your left leg to push out your right leg. Sneak a peek at me for a demo here. And then with my right foot, I'm going to be pushing up against my left leg and using my left leg to just block my ability to return my foot back to the midline here. So this is a isometric, as I'm going to be pushing up against it. So breathe in nice and deep for 4 seconds, and then we're going to go for a isometric hold rep here. So breathe in and push your right foot into your left leg. Don't let your leg return. Keep pushing, and relax. And return to midline. Just get some blood flow back in. Kick it back out as far as you can. Take up the slack that was given from the previous rep. Breathe in, hold, and push into your leg. Don't let yourself return to midline. Push, and release. All right. Okay, let's swap over. So your left leg now, reminder to keep the weight going through your left knee straight up into your hip. And we're going to use our right leg to block here. So get used to this position. Make sure your weight is where it needs to be, driving through here. And remember, as we did last time, we're going to get used to this position and just moving out to the side. Now we're moving to the left-hand side here and just feeling the impingement, feeling your hip capsule here on your left side. You should feel it getting bound up. All right. So once you're used to the left leg here, it may feel different from your right. That is perfectly normal. Okay, so now we're going to push all the way over. Your left knee should be coming to your right hip, coming to center line, keeping your upper body straight in a straight line here. Don't let it twist. And you should push it all the way over until you feel that impingement. You can block with your right leg if you need to. Breathe deep into here. Just noodle in and out. Touch that end range, touch that end position there, and feel that hip capsule mobilization do its job. Okay, so now we're going to push all the way over until you feel that impingement and then start drifting backward. So you should be pushing back, almost imagine like you're pushing back into the bottom left-hand corner of your hip capsule. And breathe deep into this position here. You can noodle in and out of the position or go for a static hold. Again, you shouldn't be feeling any severe like sharp pains or anything like that. You should just feel like an impingement. Feel like, oh, yep, I'm bound up there. That's my hip. A reminder to keep your weight going through into your hip capsule. Don't let your weight drift off that knee. And let's return to midline. Let's shake it out if you need to. Let the blood flow back in there. All right, now we're going to go for that kick out. So remember what we did last time. We used our opposite leg. In this case, it's our right leg, and it's going to push it out and block our foot from returning. Try and keep your upper body straight here. Don't let yourself twist because it sort of defeats the purpose. What we're doing here is we're using our right leg to block our left leg from returning to center. Okay, big breath in And push, 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 push with your left leg into your right. Don't let it return. Keep pushing, pushing. You should feel it bound up. Push, push, hold, and release. Okay, get your breath volume back. Take up any slack that's available. Wind it up and breathe in. And hold, push, 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 push. Hold it, hold it. And release. And one more. Big breath in. Push, 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 push with your left leg. Your left foot into your right leg. Don't let it return. And release and come back to center line. Got a bit of a sweat on after that one. But that is your hip capsule mob. Now, last step. We come back up into our deep squat position. As I promised, this is the retest and just compare how you're feeling. I'm feeling a lot looser through my hip here, particularly on the left side today. So definitely did me wonders. Got a bit of a sweat on. Whew. Awesome. Okay, and that is it for today. Make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow's mobility follow along for Jiu-Jitsu.